Hello and welcome to part 2 of 2 on 2 Tutorial Tuesday. How are you guys doing tonight? So this morning we put together this fun project that we were going to do this evening using an inspirational piece that I found at the Buck and a Quarter store, previously known as the Dollar Tree. So this little metal hanging on the left-hand side of your screen says fall is my favorite color. So this morning we iced a cookie so that it would be ready for tonight. We're going to do some splatter, gold splatter using TMP. We're going to use the Cebidium color. It's an elite color with Everclear to do some of that that like buffalo check plaid painting at the bottom, only we're going to do it in that cool green color. You guys voted and decided that we would use ivory icing tonight. So we've got that ready to go. So I just want to show you a few quick housekeeping things real quick, and then we're going to jump right into this tutorial. Let's see. So don't forget this weekend, you still have time to sign up for the 4th in a series of 6 Stackables classes that we did to help you improve your business profitability for the holidays. This is Mrs. Claus. That class is this weekend from 4 to 7 p.m. The following weekend is Mr. Claus in the holiday Stackables class. He's the 5th in the series. And then on the weekend of December 3rd, we'll be doing our candy nutcracker. So many different techniques and textures in each of those classes. It's going to be a blast. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up yet, this is my piece that I'll be teaching in Cookiers Live in January. It's an online virtual event with Sweet and Saucy Life and April Kalanchik. So I hope you'll check that out. We'll get you links to that. If you didn't get a chance to watch the video today, last night we had a special guest, Priscilla Nems, and we discussed copper cookie cutters. And we learned tons of valuable information. So please make sure you take a second and check that out. And let's say hello to a few people, then we'll get started, okay? If you're watching with us tonight, please say hello. It'll funnel into this one location because we're streaming to 4 different spots. And we'd just like to let you know that we know you're here. Hello, Miss Debbie. How are you? Hi, Barbara. Idaho. Is Idaho cold tonight? Because it sure turned cold in Virginia today. And snow next Wednesday. What's up with that? It was just 75 degrees over the weekend. Like, come on. I think we need to medicate the weather so that it'll settle down because this is a little bit too much for me. Hey, Sally OL from Florida. That's sweet Sally. How are you doing tonight? Hi, Cynthia. Sabra, I'm so glad you could join us. Hello, Jalen. How are you doing tonight? Longest countdown clock ever. I know, it's funny. It's because I can't have music. Because if I have music, then they tag it, and then all the videos have to come down, be a very long process of editing goes on, and it goes back up. Whereas if I could have foot tapping music, it would just fly by for us. So anyway, once again, I put the offer out there to anyone who knows how to do those slideshows that if you want me to send you a whole bunch of cookie photos that we could, someone could set up a countdown timer combined with photos. I'd love to have a photo album countdown timer for projects that we've done in Cookie Snack Attack. So you let me know if you're that guru in our group. I'd love a little help with that. Hello, Miss Sally. How are you and the prince tonight? Camille, hey, how are you? Hello, Miss Cindy. I hope you got a lot of stuff done today. I feel like you probably had a lot to do after your parties and stuff this weekend. Hey, Pamela, how are you tonight? I'm so excited. I have some stuff to tell you later, Miss Pamela. Allison, hey, so you don't know it because you probably didn't watch the replay yet, but I put a shout out to you to make this cookie cutter for me in about 4 or 5 different nesting sizes. So we can talk about that later. How are you? I hope you had a great day. I hope they turn out cute, Miss Cynthia. I love doing a leaf cookie as my last fall cookie before we move into Christmas. And the only reason that we're moving into Christmas is because as cookiers, I'm not rushing the date. I'm not skipping the month of gratitude. I'm not skipping Thanksgiving. But as cookiers, we have to have our plans settled for whatever the next major sales holiday is. And for us right now, leaving Halloween, that next holiday is Christmas. So if I have some fall things lying around, I'll try to jump on and just do some unscheduled tutorials so we can work in a few more fall things, but we've really got to get into Christmas so that you guys can get things ordered, maybe make plans, swap up the designs a little bit, and get cookieing for your busiest holiday of the year. Hi, Miss Sharon. I hope you're feeling better today. We've been praying for you. Jenny, hello. It's nice to see you. Hello, Becky. How are you tonight? Nicole, it's good to see you. You guys have all been so busy this last week. Hello, hello. Let's see, Debbie from Maryland. All right, got Maryland, Virginia, Idaho, Texas, Louisiana's in the house. Hello, hello. Hi, you guys. Oh boy. Snow. I know, Allison. I'm telling you, I was shocked. It's shocked. Pouring rain in Southern California. Okay, well, I guess we're all going to get a little bit. And there's another hurricane headed towards Florida. Not the same area of Florida, but another hurricane. Like, they don't need more right now. Just leave them alone for a while. It's hard to wait. Oh, that wouldn't help. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Hi, Barbara. New obsession is brewing within you. I know. I'm telling you, it happened to me today. Hey, Deborah, Kentucky's in the house. Hey, hey, how are you? Let's see. Oh, you're on cookie order duty. All right, cool. That's fun. Let's see. I think, Saber, that happens because you have to give it permission from each page. And so if you do it from one page and then you go to the other page, once you give it permission from the other page and you go back to the first page, it doesn't hold the permission. So just watch from wherever you tell it each time. Hey, Kelly, how are you doing? Let's see what happened to Phyllis. I went to the dollar store, bought 5 bottles of ketchup, and dragged my copper cookies, your copper cookie cutters out. Okay, so how did that go? Did the cleaning actually begin or just all things organized? Let's see. Okay, I'm not sure what Christmas carryover. Tell me what that's for, Jalen. Leaf color. Yes, you guys voted this morning. You're welcome, sweetheart. Wish we could all be there with you in person. Earth Quest today, loading pictures at snail pace. Yeah, it's your internet because she lives out in the country. Like, I could live out in a very rural area in the middle of like 100 acres, be totally fine as long as I had good internet, as long as I could connect with you guys. Hey, Judy, how are you doing? Everything organized, work on this weekend. We'll take some before and after photos to post in the group if you have time, because I'm sure people would like to see what they look like before and after with the ketchup cleaning. And is Priscilla here tonight? Have you jumped on yet? All right, so Allison, when I meet up with you tomorrow, I'm going to bring this to you because this is like the best example for a leaf that I've seen in a long time. It's so cute. Oh, thank you so much, Phyllis. I would appreciate that if you put that in the group because I think people would really like to see that. Hey, Miss Barbara, how are you doing? All right, so I'll bring this to Allison. We'll see what she comes up with. All right, and we iced in ivory, which is really just a Hobby Lobby ivory. So there wasn't anything super special about this ivory. It was just ivory. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, guys, I wanted to splatter the cookie with some TMP Gold. Let's see. I'm doing very well today, thank you. I did hand cut it, Kelly, after I used this. I covered my leftover gingerbread dough with a piece of clear wrap or press and seal, and then I used this little tin thing that I found at the Dollar Tree today. No, yesterday, I think, right? Wasn't yesterday Monday? I'm pretty sure it was Monday. So, I used this and pressed it down into the dough because see how it's kind of rolled edges towards the back. So it made a nice imprint. And then I just hand cut it with a sharp knife. So that's how I did it. But I'm hoping Allison is going to be like, oh, I like that leaf too. Yes, I'll make those cutters because she's great like that. All right. So I want to splatter the upper area of the cookie, which doesn't really have a cutoff. But if we want to stay close to what we did here, then we're going to start doing our painting below these 2 joints. So first we're going to actually, I think first we should etch the cookie for our lines. By the way, if you get a wish list for Christmas, please get a cordless or an inexpensive portable airbrush on your wish list so we can start airbrushing, because if we could have airbrushed this, we would be done in like 30 seconds, because it would be airbrushing stripes one way, turning it, stencil blocking the top half, and then airbrushing the stripes this way, and we would be done. These would go incredibly fast. Tonight we're going to hand paint, right? Because I'm not sure that enough of you have your airbrushes yet, but please ask for an airbrush for Christmas. I'm so excited to show you some things that I learned over the summer. Just ways that, again, will always the goal of making your cookies either go faster so you can do more cookies, or go faster so that you can have a higher profit margin for your business, or to make them go faster just because you have other things you want to do, plus you still want a cookie. So faster being the goal for that. Now, this is not a hand painted cookie where we're painting a scene, where we're just taking our time and chilling out and it's our therapy and all of that, right? That's not the purpose of this. This is to do a design quickly. This is a great size to use for your customers for the holidays, for table place settings, like right in the middle of a beautiful solid color plate. So think about that too, if you have anybody that likes that. Now, we are going to be using a non-toxic, it's not FDA approved, it's non-toxic. It's my favorite in the highlighters. It's really shiny. We're only going to use a minimal bit. So let's not have the FDA approved versus non-toxic discussion, because each person really needs to do their research and decide what they want to do. But my cookie is display only, so I have no concern whatsoever about using this on this cookie, because no one is eating this cookie. All right, so this is my powder, and I keep this little jar. It used to be a jelly jar, I think. I think it was a jelly jar from one of the cookie cons, I think, and I keep some in here right now. I mean, all the time I keep it in here. And we'll get this open. I'm going to use a stiff disposable brush. I'm going to test it first on the paper towel to make sure I don't have too much on my brush, because I want a nice spread out speckle. So like this, I want to make sure that this is juicy enough that it spreads all over. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Those big chunks like that. I like that. Okay, I just put it all over the container. So yay for me. I want to stay in this area so that I don't waste too much product. I want to stay here upward for my splatter. You can also do this with a toothbrush. You can do it with a regular stiff paintbrush too. I'm just using the disposable brush because I don't want to drag out my gold brushes. I have one set of brushes dedicated to gold, but it involves moving a bunch of stuff and I don't want to drag that out right now. So I'm just going to do this, give us a little bit of pizzazz, an extra vavoom on the cookie. Yeah, I like that. Oh, I just got it all over my phone. That's going to be fun to get off later. All right. Do this and get all this out of the way. I like that. And I like that splatter pattern. So just changing the angle on my brush gives me roughly what I get when I do this with a toothbrush. All right. So I can ditch that glove now. Hope everybody had a good day today. I did get a lot of work done. I got a lot. Let me get this off my phone. I don't want to be metallic on my ear, which is what will happen. I did score 2 more copper cookie cutters today. Just saying, it's a real thing. It happened. Hey, Priscilla, how are you doing tonight? I was wondering if you made it on yet. All right. So I've put a little bit of this into a little tiny glass container here that I lined with a piping bag. It's just a little bit, a couple of scoops of this, added a pipette, about half a pipette of Everclear. So that's ready to go. Let's get the lid back on this so we don't accidentally spill it in our work area. Oh, I did want to tell you too, if things go well, I have a big project I have to wrap up tomorrow. If I don't run into any major catastrophes, I will be demoing this product in our group tomorrow night. I know some of you are super excited to see this. Mine finally arrived. This is moldable royal icing. Got to tell you guys, I've used it. To me, this is going to be revolutionary with what I do. Super excited about it. Tomorrow, I'll talk to you about why I am going to prefer this over making royal icing clay. we'll talk about that, but I've used it. And we will be demoing this in the group tomorrow night. So hope you guys can join me because you're not going to want to miss out on this. This is absolutely fantastic. Super happy with it. The flavor's great. And if you're going to be in Ohio and you don't want to take the plunge before I do the demo, or maybe you do want to take the plunge, play with it, but you're having trouble, this is my electives cookie. This whole cookie is royal icing. So this is my electives cookie. I'll be teaching on the last day in Ohio, which remember this year, the last day is Friday because the rates go up so much on the weekend. So this is the cookie I will be teaching in as my elective. I'll have my add-on on Tuesday. Then I'll be doing an elective in Ohio on Friday, and this is all royal icing. So I'll show you how you can make these super fancy cookies, but you're going to be able to, what is that? What is that coin, the term I coined lately, that planning equals profit? So planning equals profit, and I'm going to show you how to do things like this so that you are ready to go for wedding season. Okay. It's just such a pretty cookie. I really like the cookie. And I like how well this stuff works in the fondant molds. Like I'm super excited about that. All right. Now this did not, oh, I hope you guys all come take the class too. Let's see. Hey, Vicky, how are you doing that? I mean, how are you doing tonight? Sorry. Priscilla, Becky said that she's dreamed about your pirate ship cutter. That's so funny. Okay, so Priscilla, yeah, no, you're not really late. We're just getting started. We went over all of our class stuff for the weekend. Thank you, Dee Dee. I appreciate that. I love it on fall cookies. It just adds a little vavoom. Nicole, you're excited about that cookie or the demo, one or the other. But anyway, if you're going to be in Ohio, I hope you'll sign up for my electives class. I would like to pack that out again this year. All right, so let's get going on this. What I'm going to do is work on my stripes down here, but I don't want to just completely freehand it because I don't want to risk getting crooked and then it running. Either you have to purposefully be crooked, or you need to try to stay straight. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do right now, just so I don't spill anything, I'm going to get this set. I'm going to line this up with my two sides here. And visually, what I'm looking for is that this line is parallel to this line, whatever you ended up doing there. And it's my icing. I can't be too rough with it because this has not dried overnight. We just iced this morning and then ran it through the dehydrator. So I'm just using a needlepoint scribe to give myself some lines. I don't want to draw on the cookie because the green hopefully will not be so dark that it covers any line drawing that I would do. Oh yes, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You bought some cutters today? Yes, Michigan. This Ohio would be a perfect one for you to come to. And it is an experience of a lifetime. It's absolutely amazing. I'm surprised that I waited so long to go to one of these, but I made a ton of new cookie friends. I enjoy the whole process so much. So I would highly recommend it if you're able to come. It's something everyone should do at least once. And if you're able, twice a year. Okay, let's go. Here we go. So my line is straight there for my first one. I want to come down just a little bit. I'm trying to line up with the next set of points just because I don't want to put a whole bunch of little lines. The design is going to look cleaner if my lines have ivory between. So I'm trying to set, I know that my brush is about this wide from here to here, and then that would leave me about the same width empty. So I'm going to scratch my next line. And remember, my icing is soft, so I'm trying to be careful. I probably can hide it if I break through, but I'd rather just go slow for this demo and not break it. Because if I was doing it in real life, I'd be doing it with for profit, I would be doing it with a stencil, right? So I wouldn't be worried about this at all. But this is a way you can do it if you don't have a stencil, you don't have an airbrush. This is just maybe you only want to do one or two fancy cookies, so you don't need all of the things. This is a way you can set your markers. Keep your lines sort of going straight. Now, there's no guarantee that my hands are going to paint straight lines anyway, but we're going to try to stay on that line rather than just run amok on purpose. Okay. All right. We got 2 more lines to make this way, and I'm going to make 1 down the center. And then I should be okay. You know, this icing is actually set up really well. I'm kind of shocked that it's set up this fast just being in the dehydrator because it's been raining a good bit today. So it was very humid in the cookie studio most of the day. So I'm a little shocked that, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm a little shocked I haven't broken through that icing yet. Okay, so we've got our lines. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me hold it up. Can you see the little, if I get the light just right, you see the little etch lines? All right, so we have that line parallel with our top line here. Now the center line, I'm just going to try to get 1 center marking line so our up and down stays reasonable. I wonder if I should go ahead and do 2. I better go ahead and do 1 on each side of that line since it's not wet yet. We don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole and not be able to back up, right? Yeah, let's just go ahead and do all these. It's not going to take that long. All right, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Anybody have any questions so far? Anybody need recommendations on handheld airbrushes that aren't terribly expensive so that if they go bad and you have to throw it out, it's not a big deal? Let's see what we got here. All right, so far so good. All right, so let's get going with this. I'm going to go this way first, so I'm angling it counterclockwise because I'm right-handed, okay? So I've got my Ceridium in here. You know why I like this color so much is because it has, I don't know if you noticed that as I was stirring, but it has a blue base to the green. So it's like spruce colored. I just really love it. It's quite attractive. All right, so I'm going to just push it off on the side, let some liquid run down. I'm going to paint first on my paper towel just to make sure that my brush is going to be okay. It's a beautiful flat color. That's what it's going to look like on the cookie, so I'm excited about that. All right, here we go. I have to come a little closer to me, even if it means I block you for just a second, okay? Because I have to try to keep this line straight. Let's pull up a little more of that color and blot it. Let that extra Everclear run off. And then I'm going to flip this. We're going to come back from this edge this direction. I'm going to make my horizontal lines. I'm going to make them a little bit darker than my vertical lines. I think that's going to look nicer on the design to get that cool overlap. All right, we're on to our second line. Starting outside edge, not too much pressure on the brush. Ran out of paint right there. All the way over to this side, and then from this side back. That's going to kind of distribute your color a little more evenly, and my hand is already shaking, and we've already done 2 lines. Isn't that funny? It's not funny, but it is the reality. It's from icing too many cupcakes and cakes over the years. My hand is slightly unstable for little detail projects like this, right? That's why I say you have to purposely be crooked or you have to mark it because you got to try just really hard to stay on those lines. So I'm coming all the way across both directions. So I'm getting nice even color. This is Ceridium Green, an elite color by the Sugar Art. In case you guys don't have this color yet, it's very nice for leaves, for weddings. Okay, got enough on the brush. I can do both of these. All right, so we're good that direction. Now we're going to try to do it a little bit thinner. Let's see what happens. But we're going to try to do a little bit thinner on the vertical lines. And I'm going to start in the center first. And on these, I'm going to go right over the center of the little scratch lines, if possible. because I want that line to be right down the center. Now, do you see how that's a little bit lighter? I don't want to do a second pass or it's going to wind up as dark as the original swath of color. And I'm just going over the center one time down on these lines. And each of these lines gets shorter and shorter, right? So I don't need to go back for product each time. I think I missed a thing here though. I do want to finish this out so we've got the continuity going all the way across the cookie there. So I'm super excited about being able to do an electives class for you guys at CookieCon using this moldable royal icing, because it's seriously going to be a game changer for you to be able to work in fancy cookies with planning and being able to do these things well ahead of time. Get all of your stuff planned and made and have these fancy cookies and still be royal icing, so no one will be flicking the fondant off your cookies. Isn't that going to be exciting? Nobody's going to be throwing away the fondant bits. Unless you're Allison and you make the marshmallow fondant and people eat that. They love that. But for anybody using the store-bought, it is better than it was 15 years ago, but it's still not fantabulous. All right, so I think the bottom part of our cookie is done. Do you guys like that? So we've got some gold speckle at the top, and we did really do a good job of keeping it above that line, but it wouldn't have bothered me if it poked through the bottom. And then we've got our striping, which we could have done with airbrushing, but we're doing hand painting tonight because we don't know how many of you have airbrushes yet. I'm going to get rid of that green so I don't spill anything. Now, remember, you could also let this dry, and you could use a stencil up top. Happy fall, you all, would be pretty on this. Happy Thanksgiving. But you would just need to let this dry and then put a stencil blocker across here, which could be a piece of acetate, a piece of parchment paper, could even be a piece of cardstock, really. Place your stencil, then do your scraping for your design. But I'm actually going to write on my cookie. And hopefully I'm going to write on my cookie using a brown marker. I have a brown Food Safe Edible Ink marker. I don't know if the brush part is good shape though. I don't want to start. I'm going to do an H on my cookie. Okay. I need to turn. I'm just going to do a big H. So I'm going to turn it this way. And I'm going to line up my crossbar so that it's running parallel. Just give it a couple swipes. Again, I'm having to be real careful because this is fresh icing, or at least not dried overnight icing. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do an up and down. You can do this with a projector, but again, not knowing how many of you have those items, I'm just showing you how to do this if you only want to do a few of these. Okay, so that's make it a little bit wider. It's going to be the left side of my H. Now mine is probably not what you want to do for customers, but this is the one I'm actually going to use at my house this year. So I'm going to put 2022 on it over here. But let's finish this first. So let's come straight down here with a single. I want this, I can feel my icing underneath this marker, so I have to be really careful to kind of hold my marker on its side. You could do this with icing, but I really wanted it to be low profile, and if I had an H stencil, I would be stenciling it tomorrow. But for the purposes of tonight, we can get that done, right? So you guys can see it. You could do names. You could put kids' names on here. You could do names for table place settings. You know, anything you want to do with this. So basically, when I do an H on something like this, it's pretty easy to do because it's straight lines. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but usually this is like my right side of my H is this dimension, and whatever that dimension is, I try to make this 2 passes wider, and then this is double the width so that it just has that nice fun look to it. Okay. Now I'm going to put 20 and 22 to use this, but I'm not that great with numbers, just so you know. So I'm going to put my 2O over here. Then I'm going to come over here Hopefully I'm going to line this up okay. Now, if you're icing at whatever point you're drawing on this, if you're doing it with a marker, if your icing feels like it's going to collapse, then just quit, let it finish setting up. It would be a shame to get this far and then poke through the icing. So far, I'm doing okay. I'm being very gentle. All right, so there's my cookie. I'll use a little, either a toothpick, or I'm going to use a stainless steel drill bit, my one that I use just for food, and I'll drill a hole and I'm going to put a bow up top there. Now, if it comes in time, I don't know if it'll be here in time, but if it does, I will use the new edible ribbon. If you didn't catch it at the Halloween party, if you weren't in the virtual party and didn't see the replay yet, Maite Del Angel did a demo for us where she was sculpting. She used the moldable royal icing to do her pumpkins on her demo that night, but she also showed us a really cool new ribbon that is completely edible. It actually does taste like gummy worms or gummy bears. It tastes like that. That's the consistency of it. So it was pretty neat. So if I get a good color in, I'll use that. If not, or would you guys rather just see it tonight so it's in here and I'll make a little bow with this? Would you like me to just go ahead and do a quick bow? Or at least a couple curlies? Maybe I'll just do a couple of curlies. Oh, you know what? I think we'll use the gold. I'm going to use the gold tonight and do it like the raffia looked that was on here. So let me just take my gold Flex Frost sheet. I'm going to cut it into as thin as strips as I can. And I'm just going to make this look like fake raffia. I think that'll be really cute on here. I know that's on the fly, not what I said I was going to do, but we've done the bow before. And I have another Christmas class that I think I'm going to put out as a pre-recorded class, which is Christmas florals on hexagons. As soon as I can get all of it recorded, I'm going to record each of the cookies separately and then release the class. You'll join the Facebook group and you can watch the recordings for each of the designs at your leisure. But I'm doing a new bow in there too that we haven't done before. So if you have some gold Flex Frost, save a small sheet of it like this. This was about 4 inches long and 2 inches wide. You don't need more than that. Or if you have some white, you can paint it gold. But I'm just going to use gold for the thing that I'm going to do in that Christmas class. All right, so let's gather these up. I need the short one to wrap around, but I think this will look very much like the raffia bow that was on. Oh, what did I do with it? I think it'll look very much like the raffia bow that was originally on this, okay? And this is completely edible, has a nice vanilla flavoring to it as well. Lots of different places you can buy this. We've got people on right now from all over the country. So I know some of you get it here in Virginia. Some of you get it from a supplier in Florida. Some of you get it from a supplier out in California. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do there. I love this stuff, though. I do really like to play with it. I enjoy it. All right, now I'm going to take this in the center. So I just lined my stripes up. I'm going to start on the back here, though. Get that to touch, and then I'm going to roll this, and then I'm going to attach it with icing. I'm going to roll it so it's bunched up. That's all I'm doing here. And it'll make it look like the raffia. I think I'll trim off the part that's lower. I think it's a little bit longer. I think this will be a little bit, yeah, I think I'll just slide this over if it'll let me. And if not, I'll trim some off the right side. All right, and then I'm going to kind of rough it up a little bit so it looks like the raffia. Let's trim some of this off first. So it's the same on both sides. And you don't have to be super delicate with this stuff. It's pretty hardy. You know what? I might not. Oh, yeah, I did. I saved just a pinch of this earlier because I thought I was going to do that other bow. Let me just clear the tip on this and we'll attach it and our cookie will be done. I'll photograph it tomorrow All right. I'm gonna put it right up in this area using ivory so it blends in if any of that color squishes out. I'll put that part so it's underneath. Try to get as much of the shiny gold upright as possible. And you can play with it a little bit more once you have it down on the cookie as far as the ends go, right? If you want to let this dry so that it stays in place, and then you can rumple that up just a little bit more. But you see, it's just so pretty. And it makes a really good, the gold really makes a good imitation raffia there. It looks really nice on here, and it looks just about like it looked when the real raffia was attached to the thing that was my icing inspiration for tonight. All right. Deborah, you do need to go back and watch that. Oh, yeah, let me start here. I typically don't use a projector anymore. I usually do stencils since I have that cool Cricut machine that Miss Myra sent me. I usually use stencils. My recommendation for the cordless airbrush is in my Amazon store. It's the one I have. And in fact, I have 3 of the same gun. I'll just tell you a little story about that cordless gun. It's a single action. You don't have to worry about the double action ones. If you've never used one, you need to use one somewhere so you understand what I'm talking about. But with those cordless airbrushes, with those, I don't want my video to get tagged, so I don't want to say the other word too much. But with the cordless airbrushes, you really need to pay attention to the batteries, because when your battery's going bad too fast, it's because you're not charging it correctly. The batteries that they have in them, you need to let them go all the way to dead. Just use it until it dies and then plug it back in and let it fully charge, versus running it down a little bit and recharging it every time. Like, we think we're doing a good thing recharging it every time, but it actually kills the battery life in those. And in most of them, it's not replaceable. And that one that I really like is like $50. So I actually bought it in case I didn't like it, so I could just get rid of it. That was my thought process at the time. But then I liked it so much that I bought several more of them. And I just like them for my videos. Now, there's a new airbrush coming out that Tammy of 2T Stencils told me is absolutely fantastic. She will have that for us by CookieCon, I believe. Maybe sooner. I'm not positive. But she's let some people test the demo one that she has, and they loved it. She said it works great. You have really good control with the airbrush. So I'm looking forward to trying that one, and we'll get her on here to demo that just as soon as she has them in stock. I don't want to do the demo till she has them, because then you guys will get all upset that they're not available. So we'll just wait just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Gold bow. Good. So look on the Amazon site, which is pinned to the top in the featured section on the Cookie Snack Attack group, and then send me questions. If you have questions, I'll be glad to help you. Kelly, yes. You guys like it? Everybody likes the cookie tonight? Thank you, Miss Pamela. Thank you, Sharon. Charging for 2 weeks. Yes, unplug it. You've probably overcharged. Like, as soon as it goes green, you need to unplug it, and then you need to use it till it dies and then recharge it, and your batteries will last longer. Debbie, you like it? I'm so glad. So I like this a lot. I hope Brian likes it. I'll show it to him in a little bit, but let me get this mess off my counter. So, I'm happy because I got to work in a mixed medium item, and we got to make it look, I like using mixed medium items to make it look like the thing that provided the inspiration. So it's fun to do a bow like this, because a bow like this looks like raffia versus doing a Christmas package bow or something like that, right? All right, hold on just a second. Let's see. All right, Pamela, not Pamela Schmidt, but my other Pamela, are you here, and do you need help with anything? Are you on? Okay. Oh, good. You like it. Okay. I saw a sad face or a mad face, so I didn't know if you were okay or not, but you like it, so we're good. Okay, good, good, good. So this is going to be fun to photograph too. And remember, I mentioned that if you do have the ability to design your own cutters, this would be really pretty to do multiple sizes. The thing I forgot to mention that I usually love so much in the holidays, and that the parents request, when I used to do big party platters for family gatherings or offices and there was going to be kids present, they like to have multiple sizes because obviously they didn't want one child running off with this 7-inch cookie. So we would go all the way down to the mini leaves and mix them all together so that they could portion control by the size of the cookie rather than breaking off a cookie, because you want to see a party go bad fast or a family event go bad fast. Crack a cookie like this in half and give half to one kid and half to the other. Like, it's going to be complete and utter chaos within 2 seconds of you breaking that cookie, and then no one's going to want the cookie. So think about things like that so that you can help people's holidays go better, because kids don't like to share this stuff. So you have to let them pick out their own cookies. Now, when I do a little bit of gold splattering like this, it doesn't normally rub off. It's such a small amount and it's very thinned out when I splatter it on. So I usually don't do anything for this. It'll be fine just like this. I'll just put it in a bag and heat seal it. And also it's going to have some protection because this is now raised up about 1/4 of an inch. So the bag is going to keep it above where the bag touches here and the bag touches here. It's going to keep it off that gold. So it's a tiny bit. I don't worry about it. But if you needed to, you could quickly hit this cookie before you bagged it. You could dust it with a little bit of cornstarch, which is not my recommended thing to do, but I know that some of you do it. Or you could hit it with a very quick spray, not a heavy soaking, but a quick spray of the PME confectioner's glaze, and that would seal it right up, but it's going to make the whole cookie shiny. So it'll kind of take away from your tone on tone raffia, right? Because we have the dark unshiny side underneath, and then we have the shiny gold on top. And then we have our muted green, a very flat color. And then our ivory, because we ran it in the dehydrator and there's corn syrup in my icing, it has a nice shine to it. I didn't do anything to that cookie other than ice it. And then you saw how fast this was, how nice that looks. It's very rustic. These would be this whole design put on a different shape cookie would be great for monogram wedding cookies, bridal shower. Like, think about it. Obviously it can be on the leaf for like fall cookies, but think about other designs. Like, it'd be great on a snowflake. You just need to change up your colors to fit the season. So you could do maybe blues and silver instead of gold, brown, and green. But so let's just go over it one more time. Our inspiration came from this cute little thing I saw at the Dollar Tree. I did hand cut it by putting some press and seal over my dough. I pushed this down into it because this has a lip edge on it and made an impression. And then I just cut it out. So you saw how quick that cookie is, and it would have been even faster if we'd have done it with an airbrush and a stencil. And 2T's has great stencils that would have fit this perfectly, like the ones we used on the Easter Bunny. So a lot of you probably already, if you have an airbrush and you did the Easter Bunny, you probably already have the stencil you need to do this design. All right, so stars. Myra, I think when you're on the Seriously Sweet on Davis Street page, when you're in the broadcast, like at the beginning of the comments, I think there's a comment like this, and there's a little area right there where you can send stars. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I've never actually checked it during a live stream, though. All right. You are very welcome. I appreciate you guys tuning in for tonight. Now, ask me any questions over there while I'm posting pictures real quick. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you can do that by going over to YouTube, searching for Seriously Sweet. You know, I think I need to fix that because I think it's actually Seriously Sweet. Let me take that off, you guys, because I think it's actually Seriously Sweet on Davis, and then ST is our YouTube. So I'm gonna post that in again, and I'll play that in tomorrow's video. If you're not getting live stream alerts yet, you can get live stream text alerts by texting the word live stream, all capital letters, all one word, to 540-870-0726. It has 2 sets of prompts. So you do one set, you send it, it asks you a question because it's trying to verify that you're a real person, and then it has more information for you to fill out, and you send it. And then I only text alerts between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so if you want to be on that list, we can get you on that. Don't forget to join the free Facebook group Cookie Snack Attack with Seriously Sweet. That group is it's all cookies in there all the time. And we communicate about all of our cookie stuff and do our individual posts in there. The new Stackables class is for sale at our website, or on our website rather, seriouslysweetcupcakes.com. Okay, so here's just the website if anybody needs that. I'll leave that running for a second. This is this weekend's class. And we have a prep video on Thursday night. It won't take very long, but I do want to go through the icing and the fondant pieces so they're ready to go. But our actual live class starts at 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 12th. They've been ending at about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but please reserve the amount of time for 3 hours, just like normal, just in case we decide to go rogue and do something different that night. We'll have a prep video for you guys on the 10th, which is Thursday night. Then the following weekend, we're going to go right into the Mr. Claus Stackables class. I'd love to see you in that. These are so easy to do. If you've got the cookies baked and you get the design down on one cookie, these are so fast to do. They would be great for your pop-ups, for your farmers markets, for the craft shows that you guys are going to set up. And they're so attractive. Like, even if you think you're not going to be good at doing the royal icing bits on here, I promise you, I'm going to show you how to do it. As long as your icing is at the right consistency, it is super easy. Message me any questions about that. The toy soldier, a candy nutcracker or toy soldier, we said you could call it either thing. We're going to do that on December 3rd. I'm sure I'll have some things for you in between those two classes. I'm working on getting a pre-recorded class up for you. Do you guys want to see what's in that class? The cookies I'm about to show you aren't the final cookies. They were the prototypes. I've made a few changes, but I'd be happy to show you those if you want to see them. It's going to be a pre-recorded class, so you can do it at your leisure. Please go back and watch the demo from last night about the copper cookie cutters. Tonight was all about our fall leaf. This is our last fall cookie, unless something comes up and I do a bonus video, okay? Let's see this. Allison would be the person to handle that, but I don't think so. She doesn't say that it's hard to make, and we all tried it at spring retreat. She made us some and brought it, and it's very delicious. She does cakes with it. She does cookies with it. So I think probably you would really like it. I know, I can't wait to do the Clauses. I love Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. I love it. Okay, so let's set this here. Does anybody want to see the prototypes for the class that's going to be pre-recorded? I'm going to move this guy over. Isn't this sweet? I really wish I had taken the time this year to do a whole bunch of leaves to create a hanging garland. I wish I had taken the time to do a hanging garland for my mantle this year, but there's just been so many things going on that was not in the cards. But next year, I think we should do that as a project. Okay, don't forget, this is going to be my It's All Royal Icing is the name of the class. All of this, look at the dimension. That's all royal icing. You see that? All royal icing. This will be my electives class on the last day of CookieCon in Ohio. So look for that when it's time to sign up. You know, I have add-ons of Sparkle and XOXO in Ohio, and add-on classes, the paid classes in Florida as well, Sparkle and XOXO. We've got that coming. We've got Cook Yours Live coming. All right, I'm going to show you this. Hopefully I won't spill anything. Now, again, these are the prototypes. I've made a few improvements, but we're going to be doing these. This is going to be my pre-recorded class. Let me get some stuff out of the way so I don't mess anything up. This will be my pre-recorded hexagon florals class, and I'll record each cookie separately, and there's a lot of cookies in this, but this will give you an idea. But these hexagons just make such elegant and classy platters, and we're going to do a ton of different techniques, but we've got all of these colors that blend. This is actually 3 separate cookies, so you don't have to put it on the tray where it actually fits in with the item it's with. I just designed it that way so that you could if you wanted to, and in the video we'll do those 3 cookies together, so you can split it up on your tray if you want to. But you see how easily these go together like little puzzles, right? So this will be that class. Hopefully I'll have it up next week. Hopefully I'll have it up towards the middle to end of next week. Okay. But most of these colors are colors you've already used in your stackables classes. I did all of this with tipless piping bags. So you're not going to have to buy any tips. You've already got the sugar. So it's just learning the techniques and learning how to design a platter that suits your needs and your speed and your skill level. So hopefully you guys will take that class and learn some cool, fun things. Do you guys like those? Let's see. Oh, okay. So you do like it. Okay, good. I was wondering. I didn't know if you guys would be into something else like that. And also I used smaller hexagons this time. These hexagons are only 2.75 inches. Thank you guys. I know I love the little ribbon too, right? That's all edible. Everything on there's edible. The supply list is going to be very minimal. If you did any of the stackables classes, you probably have all the colors and brushes. You have everything you need. Okay. But I just want you to have something else in case the stackables don't fit your needs for Christmas, just to give you a leg up for some party platters and stuff. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to end the video. If all goes well, I do have something I have to finish tomorrow, but if all goes well, I'll be popping on tomorrow to demo this. But I think you guys are going to like it as much as I do. It's just really fantastic product. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm going to talk to May and see if that discount code is still working. And she is sold out right now, but she's going to have more in by this weekend. So once we demo it tomorrow, you'll want to get your orders in, if it'll let you order where it's like back order status, because she's going to have more this weekend. And then I'll also show you the ribbon that I did get in. The ribbon, I think she said it's made with gelatin, but I need to study the label a little bit. Okay. And then I want you to share that video as much as possible and get the word out. It'll be good for my Taste sales over Christmas, and it'll be good because we brought it to you first in Cookie Snack Attack, right? That'll be so much fun. All right. So anybody have any questions? It's looking very good over here. Oh, Debbie, you forgot to use the code when you ordered. All right. Well, then we need to get you another order with the code because you're going to go through this stuff. It's really addictive. So one of the things we're going to try together tomorrow night is seeing if we can use these textured rollers and if we can use these textured mats. If it works like Glaze does, you know, with Cameo and CR Confections does beautiful sweater cookies at different times of the year. And she's a glazer, so she always uses glaze. So she glazes her cookie and then she comes back at I think she normally does it like a 3.75 or 4-hour mark and then uses these impression mats. And then her cookie is super fancy looking and it looks like she piped it that way, but really she used one of these mats. So we're going to see if this royal icing clay will work the same way where we can do some embossing with it. And then I want to check this out because I have something coming up soon I want to use this for if it works. But I can tell you it works fantastic in fondant molds. So we'll be doing some flowers for sure tomorrow night. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you again. You guys are so welcome. I hope you enjoyed our fall leaf tonight. And I'll be catching up with you soon. I hope all of you have a great night. See you later. Bye, guys.